Uzbekistan, a country in Asia, has qualified for the 2026 World Cup in their first qualification for a World Cup as a country, as a whole. They will be playing in America, in Mexico, in Canada in the World Cup next summer. This is the first time they've qualified for the World Cup. So, in typical fashion, we are going to jump onto here on FC25 and rebuild using only Uzbekistan players in the game. So welcome to Uzbekistan FC, a creative club I've just created with Uzbekistan, just using the name. Now there are currently only 6 players in actual game that is Uzbekistanian. There's only 6 players. Most notably is Kushanov out of Manchester City. Just went over there in the January transfer window. He's Uzbekistan. He is going to be there. We are going to sign those 6 players. I'll show you those in a second. But we are going to use the Youth Academy. We have the ability to send each and every country, or each and every scout, all 3 scouts to Uzbekistan. I'll show you all that in a second. But first off, let's talk about their World Cup travels. In 2006 is probably the most noticeable one because it was probably one of the most controversial for the Uzbekistan national team, in which they won a first leg playoff 1-0, but that actually got overturned and FIFA forced them to replay it after a error involving a penalty retake with the refereeing. So yeah, that was chaos for them as well. FIFA ordered them to replay the match, that first leg, in which then they lost, or they drew that first leg, I believe, and then lost the following leg in there, and they obviously got knocked out of World Cup qualification that year. And then in 2014 was the next time they got close to it, where they finished level on points with South Korea in the final group stage, but were denied on goal difference. They were denied on goal difference, and then they lost to Jordan on penalties in the AFC playoff, missing the chance at qualification once again. Come over here into 2025, and the Uzbekistan national team, who's been getting stronger, been investing in the youth talents, are now going to be playing in the World Cup in the Americas over the course of next summer. So let's go and jump into FC25. Let's bring in these 6 players that are actually on the game and talk about the Youth Academy. And as you can see here, we have all 3 of the youth staff going over to Uzbekistan, who's actually in the game, actually scoutable in the game, thanks to them adding these 100 and over nations in FC25 from FC24 and all the other previous cycles. In previous times, I would have to use a mod to be able to scout Uzbekistanians, but now we can just do it on base game. I did use a mod to send them all 3 out to the same country, and for the first 9 months, we are looking for right back, center back, left back, CDM from this first guy. We are looking for cam and attacking options for the second guy. And then because EA are also just idiotic in a sense, we can only look for goalkeepers in one role. If it's a goalkeeper, it's goalkeeper locked. So we're just going to do 3 months with goalkeepers. In all honesty, I'm going to hope that it's only 1 or 2 months, maybe 3 months. I'll just let it go, and then we'll do that. But I did go ahead and force a scout report off the rip. That way we have some players in the team, because I want my entire team to be Uzbekistanian. So we are going to go ahead and bring in everyone in here into the Youth Academy, and then we'll look at them later. But first, let me show you the 6 players. Obviously, the 6 players we have, there's gonna be a lot of mispronunciations for this episode, for this video. I can only apologize. But we have Alikulov, who is currently playing in Rizespor. We have Kusanov, who's obviously playing at Manchester City, the most noticeable one. We have Kasimov, the worst one, and his potential is actually 60 as well. So he's honestly not that great, but we'll bring him in because he is here. We have Shurkarov, who's currently playing at Fey. We have Shermadov, who's currently playing at Roma, and then we have Azabek, who is playing in Turkey at Sivasspor. So we're going to bring these 6 guys in. I know it's unrealistic that Kusanov would go from Manchester City down to League 2, where we are currently at, but it's a Uzbekistanian rebuild in totality as well. So we're going to bring all 6 of these guys in, get them playing, get them into that first team, and then start bringing in some youth players to get those up the ranks. Our aim is to obviously win the Premier League. Obviously, we can't win the World Cup because the Uzbekistan is not an actual national team, so we can't do that. What we can do is win the Premier League. We want to win the FA Cup. We want to win the Carabao Cup. And more importantly, we want to win the Champions League. The Champions League is our World Cup. that is our World Cup with this team. The league phase is qualification, and then the knockouts is obviously the knockouts of the World Cup. So league phase is qualification / group stage of the World Cup. The knockouts is the knockouts of the World Cup, and obviously Champions League glory is going to be deemed as World Cup glory for these Uzbekistanians in this game. So let's go and bring in these 6 guys and go from there. And so the first batch of youth prospects added to the team, in all honesty, there's a couple of them that are good. Obviously, we are in League 2, so some of these guys are going to be good enough to compete in League 2. So, you know what? I think we are going to go ahead and just promote some of these guys, like Masipov. Welcome to the club. We have Tuvadovsky. Welcome to the club. We have Samarov. Welcome. Well, okay, well, hold on. Welcome to the club. Koloskov, welcome to the club, and that is about it. Yeah, that's about it for now. We are going to go ahead and look to loan out some of these guys as well. Some of those guys that we just brought in, we're going to look to loan out as well, as we have 2 more goalkeepers that we can bring into the squad. So yeah, that is how that was looking. We did go ahead and bring in the other guys as well. Actually, no, we haven't. We have pretty much, we're looking to bring in all the other guys at the moment as well. And so at the moment, with everybody brought in, the 6 players brought in real life into the club, this is how the team is looking like. Everybody you can see here that is not blurred out is a Uzbekistanian, including some of the youth prospects like Koloskov, as well as Mazipov, Samarov, and Tavesky all on the bench. And obviously Tavesky is starting. But we do have the likes of Kasimov in the midfield with Koloskov, with Shurakarov, Alikulov, Kushanov, and then obviously a lot of Dovs, a lot of Ovs, I should be saying, not maybe just Dovs, but Ovs in the Uzbekistanian language. Again, I'm gonna mispronounce pretty much near everyone, so I can only apologize. That is about as best as I can do, and I'm not gonna be sitting here all day trying to pronounce these guys, even though it is based around every single one of these guys. So yeah, the aim is to try and get rid of everybody here that is not a Uzbekistanian, including the higher ups as well. That way these lower overalls like Kasimov and Alikulov can obviously play, because at the moment Lawrence is going to be playing instead of Alikulov. So there is some things to think about, as well as possibly Graham playing instead of Kasimov and Graham playing instead of Koloskov, but he maybe even Shukradov as well. Definitely Fofana playing over Koloskov, and then at striker we really don't have that worry at the moment, but there's a lot of stuff that we do have to work on. So a lot of behind the scenes stuff for me. So you might see me at the end of the first season where we have more youth prospects. We're going to try and loan out some of these youth prospects the way they can grow if they're not in the team, and then we'll just go from there. So I will see y'all more than likely at the end of season 1, and we'll see what this team can do. And at the end of the first season here, just don't look at the standings. In all honesty, I'm just showing you just to show you all this in case we did ever get promoted this season. In fact, we actually made quite a decent bounce back, because last time it was in the start of April, I believe, or March, one of the two. I think it was March, maybe April, where we were sitting at 20th, and now we have bunched up to 12th here. As far as the academy goes, there's been a whole lot of players. In fact, we're going to promote the last bunch here as well. A couple of mid-60s to lower 60 overalls in the squad coming now into our squad hub. Our squad hub is just okay, well, maybe if the game would work. Our squad hub is simply full of Uzbekistans. We have 51 players currently in the squad. We have 2 players currently going out. We're going to go ahead and try and bring in Shermanov. I'm going to have to do his thing manually. This Fofana guy can leave for sure. But top goal scorer so far has been Shermanov. If I can't sign him again, I'll sign him at the start of next season, and that'll be no problem. The real-life players did score the goals, the most of 2 real-life players there. But we also have Tavelsky, who scored 9 goals and 6 assists out of him. As far as our players that we sent out on loan, we sent out quite a few of them on loan. We have a goalkeeper who grew +3. He's up to 63. Morchenko, a striker, he only grew 1. Stepanenko didn't grow at all. Another goalkeeper grew +2. A center back grew +3. A goalkeeper +2. A goalkeeper +5 is the most growth. Soloyov, a right back, didn't grow at all. Grovar did not grow. Smirvov did not grow, but he's already 67 overall. He might be our starting cam We might switch formation to a 4-3-3 attack next season. We have Meshkov, who didn't grow as a goalkeeper, and Samarov, who grew +5. He was the first player to actually get loaned out, so he has the most time loaned out in Cardiff City. He grew +5 up to 67 overall. So a lot to go into next season. We're going to see what can happen. And we'll see if there's any more Uzbekistanians that come through the team, through the game, through like just free agents, or obviously just youth generated, maybe some pre-gens out of something. But for now, let's go and get to season 2, where we want to get promoted up now. And in fact, the only Uzbekistani in the game still, whether it become free agents or not, is Shomarov, who the guy we could not sign on a contract again at the end of last season. We go ahead and bring him in. He's now on a 2-year deal, so we'll at least get 2 more years out of him. But quite literally, nobody else in the game, not even a generated player in the game yet that is from Uzbekistan. So again, through the youth academy this season, which we have already set up, but we have a load of players. I mean, a C-load of players here in the squad. We still have 50 players. We still have a couple players out on loan as well, but we have 50 players here that we are going to look to loan out a lot of these guys, hopefully, and try and get them some game time as well. We're gonna have to overpay some of these guys' wages to make sure they stay like at least the real life players. They're gonna have to get some big time money here into the squad. But a lot of these guys we're gonna look to loan out. It's as simple as that. Because not everyone can play. I mean, we can't play 50 players. That's like 5 different squads, almost 4 different squads at least. And at the end of the the second season, we win the league by 1 point. We are automatically promoted up to League 1 football. That is good to see there. As the rest of the other competitions, did we win the BSM trophy? No, we did not. As far as we go, I'm in one of the weirdest predicaments I've ever been in. Our youth academy is full. Our squad hub is full. We are full of players. There's going to come to a point where next season I might just have to start just accepting transfer offer for some of these players. But as we go through, let's go through some of our top goal scorers. Shermadov, who's up to 75 now, had 24 goals. Popov had 17 goals. Samarov had 13 goals. He's up to 71. He is probably the first Youth Academy player up to 70 overall. In all honesty, I think he could be, and he is. He is the first Youth Academy player up over of 70, so that is great to see. We also have Smirov, who's also 70 as well. Kusanov is up to 81. He's grown +3. And talking about growing, let's go through some of our biggest growth. We have a +4 for Galikin, a right back, so he's up to 65 overall. We have a left back who's up to 66, who grew +3. A Cam who's up to 64, he grew +3. We didn't really loan as much as we wanted to be honest. I just kind of gave up on loaning players because it's very tedious. I might just start accepting loan to buys, in all honesty. Mazepov, a +5 on him. Some of these guys are actually loan to buys as well. We'll see what happens. But that's the end of season 2. On to season 3, where hopefully we can make some good progress. And we have a lot of youth players unsettled that are probably going to get released, in all honesty. Grovarov, Shankarov, pretty much around 18. And at the end of the first season in League 1, we sit in 18th. We are, 4 points safe off of relegation, which is interesting to see there. We did make the final of the BSM trophy, in which we lost to Charlton, so Uzbek cannot win that one. We do have 1 title under our belt, though, obviously being the League 2 title. And going over to here into our youth, or into our squad hub, Shermanovs, who's now up to 78 overall at 31 years old. We're going to get to a point to where he's not going to be our starting striker because of his age, which means some of these guys are going to have to step up. Next one up is Miranov, who is at that 69 rating. So Shermanov, I don't know how much longer we're going to get productivity out of him, but he's still scoring goals. He scored close to 100 goals in these 3 seasons alone, so that is good to see there. Kusanov is up to 83 overall. He's obviously the key player in this entire rebuild. He's probably going to be the key player unless we get somebody absolutely insane through the Youth Academy. We have Skolov, who's up to 71. He's grown the most. In fact, he actually hasn't grown the most. It's been Yartsev who's grown the most, +4, but still the right back is about the only one notable in the team. As far as our academy goes, we have a couple players in the Youth Academy. We've had the best one yet, which is, I believe, I think it was Pavlov has been the best one coming through the youth academy this season and yet. So he could be welcome to the squad next season. In fact, we're going to promote him. Golovin is going to go ahead and get released on to season 4, where hopefully we can start making some real progress. And so at the start of season 4, this is actually how the team looks like. Well, it's not half bad in all honesty. We have a 78 rated striker. We have an 83 rated center back. We have a decent little back line starting to form a little bit. We have a decent midfield as well. And our wingers are growing. Samarov's up to 75 overall. Popov is up to 70 overall. There is one player on the transfer hub that has been obviously a previous player of us. A lot of these guys on the transfer hub, if not all these guys, have all been part of our squad at some point. And in fact, I'm pretty sure 100% of these guys were all part of the Uzbekistan youth academy system. But the one player that we did sell in Kurdov, he has also gone up to 72 overall. So we're going to look to bring him in, and he could play center back alongside Kushanov. And at the end of the season, we are 1 point off becoming Centaurians, but up to the championship we go. Uzbekistan FC go ahead and pick up their second league trophy. 2 years in each division. I will take that. Maybe 1 year in the championship will be great, but we are going up to the championship here. Let's go through our players here. Shermanov, who had 24 goals, again being our top goal scorer, but Samarov was right behind him this time. He's up to 78 overall, and in fact, we are losing Shermanov. He is retiring. We say goodbye to a legend. And hopefully our striker that I managed to get out on loan on deadline day is growing at least up to close to 73, 74. That would be ideal for him to go out there to try and fill in this spot for Shermanov. We say goodbye to a legend there. We also have Smirnov, who had 12 goals and 8 assists. Popov, who had 9 goals, but more importantly, 12 assists, as they're probably feeding our striker. And talking about loanies, let's go through them. We have this Solovai, who did not grow at all. Mezkov didn't grow at all. But oh my lord, if we get down here at +5 for Pavlov, he's now 70 overall as a center mid. Yashin is +11 up to 76 overall. Mirodov, he goes +9. He does even better. He's up to 78 overall. He will fill in perfectly for a striker come next season. And then Kursanov is up to 74 overall. We're going to have some competition at CAM next season as well. We are going to say goodbye to a lot of Uzbekistanians in the squad. We're just going to let them go out because, again, we're at max capacity. And on to Season 5, where we will be in the championship. And at the moment, this is our squad. No more Shernov. We actually are down to one original player in the starting lineup at least. We do have Alec Love, you can see there, your bottom left-hand side. But we have one player that is an original Uzbekistanian in the squad. That is obviously the Manchester City center back here. He's up to 85 overall. He's the one probably carrying this team. But now it's Miranov's time to carry the team in scoring the goals. And hopefully he can score the goals. His finishing is at 75. Which is a little concerning, but we can do that. I'm going to see if anybody's on the transfer hub that is not a player here. I know they won't be a player if they are pretty much a decent higher overall player here. We have a couple of players here that was former Uzbekistanians in the squad here that we could possibly sign in, like goalkeeper 19-year-old Golubrev. We can look for those options as well, but let's see if there's anybody else here that maybe is a pre-gen of Kusanov. That'd be great. And at the end of our first season in the championship, we take off that last playoff spot with 74 points. We will be taking on Wolves in the playoffs. That is interesting to see there. Before we get to that, I kind of want to see who our top goal scorer is and see if our new striker now, is scoring the goals. He is 19 goals out of him. It's more fair share now. 19 goals out of him. He's up to 81 overall, by the way. Samarov has 18. He's up to 82. He's having a breakout season as well. And Ayushan has 12 goals. Marchenko has 6 goals. Popov has 6 goals. And on to the playoffs we go. First leg here against them away from home, and we lose 2-1. Second leg here, we're just going to sim on the counter because I expect us to lose. And we do lose 4-2 on aggregate, which means we lost 2-1 on the day again. And so at the end of our second season championship, it's honestly quite one to forget. We have Mironov, who's up to 85 overall now, by the way. He's exceeded his base potential, which was 80. His base potential was 80, so I was concerned for when our guy retired, but that loan spell actually kind of broke him through it. Ilyashan, who's up to 82, has 17 goals. Samarov has 9 goals. Unfortunately, though, it's a season to forget. We finished in 12th in the league, or 13th in the league, so we were a couple steps off of playoff football. But on to season 6 or season 7. I don't even know what season we're on now. But hopefully we can maybe get some pre-gens or something like that for whatever. We go ahead and bring in a right back to the club. A right back we just kind of let go into the wind, into the wild. And he's actually developed nicely as well. We go ahead and bring in Mr. Barsukov. 34.5 million from Stade Rennes. Welcome back to the Uzbekistanian team, and hopefully you can get us up to the Premier League level. And going into season 7 of the entirety of this rebuild, here is the squad. We have Ilyashin as our left wing. We have Mironov as our striker. Samarov as our right wing. 2 of the highest rated players. Our attack is the highest kind of average overall. Place at a midfield 3 of decent quality talents into the squad here. Obviously Kushinev, who's up to 26 years of age. He's up to 88 overall. We have Kurdov. We have Basukov, who we brought in. And then we have Golubev, who you did not see, but I brought him back to the squad as well. He was part of a goalkeeper frenzy when we first started this rebuild 7 seasons ago in season 1. So he's back into the squad now and on to the season where hopefully we can get promoted up to the Premier League. Where's the calendar? Let's see if we can get promoted up to the Premier League with this decent team. And we finished the third season in the championship in 4th. So no automatic promotion for us. We're going to have to go through the playoffs as well. We are taking on Bristol City in the playoffs. It's very tight for us. Norwich City only 1 point away from being Centurions. Let's see our squad hub and let's see what we can do or see who we have. 26 goals, not even for a striker, for our right winger who's now up to 88 overall. He's a right wing CDM / striker. That's absurd. Mironov has 25. He's also up to 88. And Breveski, somebody that we just brought in on a whim as a squad player. He's actually not a youth academy. He's not a previous player of us. He is a full-on generated player by the game that is in Uzbekistan and probably a pre-gen of some sorts. He is up to 80 overall. He has 12 goals out of him, which means Ayushin's kind of taking the back foot for some reason. Don't know why, but he did. And you know what? Sure, why not? And now onto the playoffs we go, where we are taking on Bristol City again in the playoffs here. First leg here against Bristol City. Is that Osimhen at Fulham? I just seen. It is. We won the first leg 2-0, but why did I see Osimhen at Fulham lifting a European trophy? Second leg here, we win 1-0 on the day, I believe, which means 3-1 on aggregate or 1-1 on a day. We are in the final where we will be taking on someone. And in the final against Coventry City here, it is going to be us possibly going through on the playoffs in the penalty shootout. It is us through on the penalty shootout. 1-1 on a day, 4-1 on penalties. We are Premier League bound. On to the Prem, the national team marches on. And so here is the squad start of season 8. Yes, season 8 here. We obviously pretty much have the same exact starting lineup. I was just showing you all the growth of these guys here. What is lacking is left back quality, so I might resend out my scouts out simply just for left backs and try and get a decent left back through the youth academy system, because right now it is just Chekhov has 74 overall and he's not even a left back, he is a right back. That is kind of where we are at. But we have Kustanov, who's the first player to get to 90. Mironov and Samarov are both going to get there as well this season, more than likely. He's at 89 and he is at 88. Barsuka is at 81, as well as Kurdrov. Our midfield is starting to fall behind just slightly, so that's a little concerning. We're going to hope for the rest of that. Then Kusanev and Marchenko is obviously still competing for those starting lineups in spots. So let's go on to the first half of the season, where we'll see where we are at after 19 games of Premier League football. And at the halfway point of season 1 of Premier League football, we are sitting 11th, but more notably, both Arsenal and Manchester City, and I guess throwing Tottenham in there, are all sitting towards a relegation zone. They're not sitting in that relegation zone. Norwich is actually currently winless at the moment, only have 6 points off of draws. But Manchester City, Arsenal, and Spurs all tied on 23 points. They are 8 points above the relegation zone at the moment, but that is noticeable to see, which means who's winning the league? It is Newcastle United, and Fulham is currently sitting in second in the well. That is interesting to see. How is our player doing at the start of this season? Mironov has 12 goals. He's up to 90. Samarov is also up to 90 as well. Brzezowski's playing more than Ayushin. I don't know why. The squad rules does not make sense, but it is what it is. What I do know is we are in the Carabao Cup semifinal. So we could be getting into the Carabao Cup semifinal, which we are. We have QPR, which is doable. And honestly, based on the form of Arsenal, this is winnable in a whole, which is interesting to see. So we'll see what we can do. I'm do contract extensions because it looks like a couple of our guys are possibly leaving. And it is just this guy, and he doesn't want to re-sign, so I think I might have already done that. But on to the rest of the season, where I don't think we'll get relegated. Maybe make a cup final. That'd be interesting. Carabao Cup final against West Ham, and we lose it, unfortunately. So our chance of winning a first domestic cup unfortunately fails at that final hurdle. And at the end of the first season, we finished in 15th, and the likes of Arsenal, Manchester City, and Tottenham bounced back a little bit. Well, Man City bounced back the most. They actually finished in 5th. They will be playing Europa League football. Tottenham will be Conference League football. Arsenal missed out on European competition by just 1 point. Liverpool go ahead and win the league. As far as the FA Cup, the final goes to Man City, so they play Europa League football. We obviously lost in the Carabao Cup final there, so no European competitions for us next season off the back end of getting promoted. But top goal scorer is Mironov, who's up to 91 overall. Samarov is also up to 91 overall with 16 goals. Brzezowski's up to 82 with 10 and 10. That is insane. On to the next season, where maybe we can start to push up for European football. Because to be honest, we weren't that far off. It was only 10 or so points off. And halfway through our second season of Premier League football, we are sitting in 9th. 7 wins, 7 draws, 5 losses. We are currently 5 points off the top 4, 5 points off the top 5, 4 points off the top 6. We are 13 points off top spot Manchester City, who are having a bounce back season. At the bottom, it's Ipswich, Leicester, and Burnley, with Newcastle teetering the relegation zone as well. Mironov is up to 93 overall. Brzezowski is up to 83. Samarov is up to 92, but he's not our second top goal scorer. He is our third, with Pasevsky now taking that top spot. Kustanov is at 4 as well. We're going to do contract extensions and then go on from... Oh, I definitely got to do contract extensions. I can't be losing my best players. I'll see y'all at the end of the season. We missed out on Champions League football by a matter of really a goal or two. That is absurd. Tied on points with Fulham, the same exact record, 18 wins, 10 draws, and 10 losses, 64 points. They have a better goal difference than us by 1. So we missed out on Champions League football by really a point, I guess, but also by goal matters. Manchester United win the Premier League this season. Did we make the final of any domestic competitions? Not the FA Cup and not the Carabao Cup. That actually goes to Arsenal that time around. So maybe we get pushed up towards not Premier League football. Maybe we get pushed up towards the Europa League. The question is, Brentford won that, so Brentford are now in the Europa League, so maybe that gets pushed us up to Champions League football. I doubt that's how it works on the game. Doubt that's how it works in real life as well. Top scorer is actually our left winger that's not really meant to be starting, but he is. He's 24 goals. Mironov, he's played 38 games, but he only has 18 goals. He's up to 94. So is Samarov, up to 94 as well. What's the highest overall players? It is these three. We have our right back at 85, our other center back at 85. Our left wing that's just not playing, he's actually joining Torino at the start of the summer. He's at 84, so that's goodbye to him. On to season. I generally don't even know. I've been recording this video for the last 6 hours straight. I'm losing my mind. This might be the longest video on any of my 3 channels ever. Like literally, we might be an hour by the time this video comes out. There has been a left back explosion with this guy Krupin. It's currently playing. I don't even know where that is, to be honest. I don't know what nation that is. But we are going to look to bring him into the squad. 17 years of age, 90 overall. Welcome to the Uzbekistan main team. We also go ahead and bring in Pavlov, or is it Pavlov? No, it was either Pavlov or Kurdrov that we brought in as well. Another 85 rated center back that was in the just world. So we go ahead and bring him in. We have Pavlov at CM. The only weak point that's still under 80 overall is Sokolov. So that is interesting to see there. We have obviously Mironov, Samarov, Basovsky now. This team is good enough to get Champions League football. We was nearly there last season. We do have Europa League football. I am forgetting about that, but we do have Europa League football. I believe so. Unless we somehow have Champions League. We have Europa League football. Do we not even have Europa League football? We might not even have Europa League football thanks to Brentford winning the FA Cup. That might actually knock us out of the tournament. So it might just be us trying to get up there. In our third season of the FA Cup, our third season of Premier League football, we sit 5th in the league at the moment with 20 games. There's games ahead of us. We are 5 points off of Arsenal, who have a game in hand, so realistically about 7 points off of that 4th spot, which would be Liverpool, unless Arsenal lose. Then we'd be still 5 points off of them, or 6 points in that case as well. And at the moment, Manchester City is winning the league. Crystal Palace is in second. FA Cup, we have our first round against Wolves. We are not in the Carabao Cup semifinals, so on to the rest of the season where hopefully these boys can pull it together and get us down the line. I swear I did contracts. I did do contracts. Those guys just don't want to play with us anymore, so they won't. Champions League of football, we miss out on it by nothing because we are in it. Miss out on it. We are in the Champions League football. We finish alongside Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal in the top 4, which means Manchester United miss out on Champions League football by 2 points. Fulham in 7th, and going down is Brentford, Leeds United, and Southampton. FA Cup final goes to Manchester City. The Carabao Cup goes to Chelsea. Top goal scorer Samarov, who's up to 96 overall, had 22 goals. Mironov, who's up to 97 overall, is up to 21 goals. Pasevsky is up to 86, has 15 goals. That is absurd. I mean, that's why coaches are so important. That's why the coaches for rebuilds is so important. And I'm learning that through me. This is my first time actually using coaches because I knew it was going to be a long time. I knew it was going to be a long build-up. And they are working a treat at the moment. So on to season 500, where we have Champions League football this season. Can we win the Champions League on the first time of asking? Probably not, but we'll give it a shot. Now, this is going to be the squad to go into a Champions League season because there is nobody good enough to be able to replace anybody in these positions. Even with Sokolov, he's just kind of stuck here being 77 overall. And you're not going to find a better striker. You're not going to find a better right wing. You're not going to find a better back line. We have 286 overalls there. Our left back is insane. Our right back is insane. The only, again, weak point really is our midfield with Sokolov, Pavlov, Popov, who is not really a weak point at all. So, on to Champions League football, which again, Champions League football is our World Cup. We are essentially trying to win the World Cup with the Uzbekistani national team here. So, we're trying to win the World Cup. So, the World Cup is acted as kind of qualification / group stage. And really, you could just count it as a group stage because we got qualified into the Champions League, aka the World Cup. So now this is the group stage. The 8-game league phase is the group stages, and then knockout stages after that, where hopefully we are at come the start of January or the end of January, where I'll see y'all there. And I'll actually show y'all our Champions League opponents as well beforehand. And what better way to start our league phase here against Bayern Munich? That's who we start in first. Then we go back home to Lazio, followed by Athletic Bilbao, and then Bayer Leverkusen and AS Monaco in November. In December, it's just the sole game against SK Rapid, and then in January, we ended off with Real Madrid and FC Michelin. So I will see you on January 31st, where hopefully we are in the top 24. And after seeing that league phase, there's a possibility we're not. But we have a great team that can do it for sure. And so at the end of the January transfer window, we sit ninth in the Premier League. So a little bit of a fall off of Premier League form. FA Cup, we are in round 4 against Aston Villa after moving on in round 3. Carabao Cup, we are not in the semifinals. It's Crystal Palace again. Champions League is what we care about though, and we finish in 12th, which is a playoff position here. Let's see how we did in the results, because I actually have no idea. I just didn't check. I know we won the final game. We beat Michelin 5-3. We drew to Real Madrid 2-2. In December, we beat SK Rapid, which I had as a possible only win in all honesty. We beat AS Monaco. We drew to Bayer Leverkusen. We beat Athletic Club Bilbao. We lost to Bayern Munich. We drew to Lazio. So we actually only lost one game in the entirety of the Champions League. So that is absurd. We have FC Basel, or FK Basel, it's FC Basel, right, in the Champions League playoffs. So let's get to that and see how the boys can do. And hopefully now we're in the knockout stages. Let's see if we can make the final of this Champions League, aka World Cup. First leg here. Our center back is not happy. I guess he's not playing. Mironov is up to 98 overall. Samarov is up to 96. First leg, a 2-0 win. Pasatka and Samarov on the score sheet. Vamos. And I'm so confident that we're going to be able to get through it here. We are just going to quick sim it through the calendar here against FC Basel and hopefully get to the round of 16 of the Champions League. We just can't blow a 2-0 lead. We win 2-1 on the day, 4-1 on aggregate. We are into the round of 16 of the Champions League. Round of 16 here against Bayer Leverkusen. We start off with a 3-2 loss. Popov and Kripin on the back of the nets for us, but we go back home, or we go over to Germany, I should say, down 1 goal. Second leg here against Bayer Leverkusen, we're down 3-2 on aggregate. We get knocked out 2-2 on the day, 5-4 on aggregate. We get knocked out of the World Cup Champions League in the round of 16. Let's see if these boys can bounce back and get into Champions League football for next season. We currently sit 8th at the moment. We are 6 points off top 4. So we need to pray that we can get top 4 at least. Well, at least we finished the season off strong. We're in 2nd. We're 2 points off of Premier League champion. That is absurd. Well, we'll be in the Champions League next season. That's all that matters coming into that. Ipswich, Bournemouth, and Wolves are down to the championship. Our top goal scorer, I'm assuming it's our striker or right winger, is Mironov, who's up now to 99 overall. He's at the highest you can be here on the game. He has 29 goals. Samarov is up to 96. And just looking at his stats, I kind of want to see his stats because I didn't see it. Look at all these stats. 91 penalties is his weakest shooting there. His long passing isn't the best as long as his crossing. What's his finishing, though? His finishing is... Where's his finishing? Am I blind? Finishing is 96. Attack position 96. 81 aggression, obviously lackluster defending, doesn't matter. 98 stamina, 99 strength is absurd. Heading accuracy is the best, 92, well not the best, but decent, 92. 99 agility, so obviously very agile. I can't wait to get in Champions League final to play with this guy because he is absolutely insane. Hopefully we can get in the next 4 seasons where he's still at least not deteriorating. But on to season, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what season, but we're on to the next season. And halfway through our 2nd season in the Champions League, aka the World Cup, we are sitting 2nd in the league phase in the group stages. We get out of the group stages. We don't have to go through the playoff round anymore. It's just straight up into the round of 16 of this competition. And in the Premier League, we are also winning the Premier League after 24 games. We have only suffered 1 loss, but we are still only 5 points behind Man City. Those draws are what's going to end up possibly hurting us a lot at the moment. But at the moment, we are sitting in 1st in the league. We are looking comfortable and competitive in the Champions League. And it's something I do want to note because I had to do contract extensions. We are going to lose Kudorf because I totally forgot about to do this at the start of the season, and I tried to do it at the end of January, and these guys already signed pre-contract. So both of these guys are off on their way. So hopefully this is the last season. If not, there's another one that we could bring in, and it's not the end of the world. But what I do want to say, one player is on 9 900,000 a week. Mr. Mironov, who's currently 99 overall, is on 900,000 a week. It means absolutely nothing to y'all, but I've never had to pay someone 900,000 in a video game in FC20 in any FC career mode or EA career mode in a long time. So there's that. I'll see y'all at the round of 16. And in the round of 16 here, we face off against FC Porto. Some other matchups, we have Mainz in the Champions League. That's how you know we're so far deep in. When you have Mainz, you have Union Berlin, you have FC Utrecht. We are 12 seasons in, by the way. So these are some insane teams coming in through the into the round of 16 here of the Champions League, aka World Cup. That includes Arsenal not even making it out of the playoffs. In fact, Arsenal's not even in the top 24. Neither is Real Madrid. Was Arsenal even in Champions League? Arsenal was not in Champions League. Real Madrid are the first team out of the Champions League playoff round. I didn't even see that. That's absurd. We are playing FC Porto, who came through 23rd. So they came in just barely through the playoff round, and now we are taking them on in the Champions League. Let's go and get to League One, where hopefully this team is good enough. Obviously, we have a 99 overall player. This team is absolutely absurd. We should be able to cruise by these guys, in all honesty. Second league here. This is the first league. We will win 1-2. Mironov and Pavlov after Hassan in the 18th minute. It's just a bunch of youth academy generated players scoring the goals. 2-1 lead. Second leg here, and something to notice, Sokolov, our midfield, is finally above that 80 overall. So we finally have everybody over 80 overall at the moment. A 1-1 draw, which means a 3-2 win on aggregate, and Uzbekistan is into the the quarterfinals of the Champions League World Cup. And in the quarterfinals of the Champo, we have Manchester City, where AS Monaco's taking on Atletico Madrid, Newcastle's taking on Union Berlin, and Borussia Dortmund versus RB Leipzig in an all-German battle. Here we go. I would say at first an all-English battle, but theoretically it's not, because we're not English at all, and we actually lose the first leg where Mironov scores, but Martins and Gavardio takes a 2-1 edge, going back over to the Etihad, down 1. Second leg here, we're down 2-1. We go through 2-0. Mironov. A brace for the 99 overall sends Uzbekistan into the semifinals of the competition, knocking down our Premier League title rivals, Manchester City, out of the competition. We move on alongside AS Monaco with the second leg for the other teams to be played. We still don't know who will be playing in the semifinals, but we do know we just made it to the semifinals finally. And we're now 4 points clear off of Manchester City as well in the league, so we are looking decent in the league as well. Still competitive in the league, but we are at least giving it a shot. And in the semifinals of the Champo, we get Newcastle United. Let's see how these boys can do. Our midfielders, oh my lord, a 4-1 win. Mironov, Basovsky, Mironov, and Samarov all on the score sheet. That is one massive foot into the final of the Champions League World Cup. Second leg here, we're up 4-1. There is no way we absolutely ball this, surely. Nope. In fact, we win 2-0, extend that gap to a 6-1 win in the Champions League. We are into the final of the World Cup here. We will be taking on, more than likely, Borussia Dortmund, as they're up 3-1 against French team AS Monaco. But now we shift our focus back over to the Premier League. Are we trying to win this? Are we competitive? We are competitive. 78 to 74 with 4 games left to go. They can get up to 86. We just need 9 points. A 3-1 win against Everton will give us 3 out of those 9 possible points. This is also, again, if Man City don't lose, which I think they just lost. I don't know if that was a women's team or not, but 6 points out of possible 9 that we needed. And to win it here at home, a 1-0 win. The Uzbekistani FC team. Oh, nope, never mind. We lose 3-1 there. I'm gonna go ahead and stop it there. I kind of want to see. I think Man City lost to Arsenal on the final game day. They did. In fact, they've lost more than that game. They've lost a lot of games. In fact, I think they might have lost every single game since then, or maybe even drew 2. So we are your Premier League champions. We have at least lifted that trophy. But now to take on Borussia Dortmund, it will be in the Champions League final. And only our second season of doing this, or at least in this competition. It's our 12th season overall, so it's been a grind. Champions League final. Uzbekistan FC versus Borussia Dortmund. Khrushchev, the only original player lasting in this team. Everybody else has been youth generated by myself for the most part. Maybe one or two outliers that got pre-gen in the game. But everybody has been crafted by myself. And now we are left to lift that trophy, which we are pretending to be the World Cup trophy. And if you want to count it as that, then we are taking on Germany in the World Cup final. But it is just really Borussia Dortmund in a Champions League final. Let's see what their ratings are compared to us. Obviously, y'all know ours: 89, 99, 97, 87, 81 being the lowest overall, 85, 92 left back, a 92 center back, 87 center back, a 90 overall right back, a 84 overall goalkeeper. Compared to them, they have an 87 rated striker, 84 Cameron Alejandro Garnacho. Cavada is at 84. Pablo Toro 84. Sanset 84. Yan Koto 84. A 78 overall center back. A 90 overall center back. 78 overall center back. And then Kobel still in net as well. And not really that much of a bench as well. It is the Champions League final. I was tempted to tactical view this, but I had to play with a 99 overall. There's no way I'm not playing this game with not playing this game with him there. Barkskov, cross comes in, headed away. Pavlov wins in the midfield. Pavlov now into Mironov. Mironov top of the box. Kobel with the first save of the day. Soko puts it into the box. It's not the best of a corner. Breda trying to head it back. It will be cleared by defenders. Pavlov. Popov. Mironov on his left foot. And Mironov slots it away. And we take the lead here. 1-0, 8 minutes in. Popov out wide for Samarov. Samarov, 97 overall. Into Mironov. Mironov spins. Mironov shoots. And, of course, Mironov scores. 2-0 for the Uzbekistani national team here. Yankoto into Juric. Cross back push for Fiore on the volley. And that's a beautiful goal. Borussia Dortmund are straight back into it here. Yankoto, cross comes in, his shot deflected. It might even came off of Juric, it did. Pavlov, Samarov, Popov, he's going to tap it in, and it's going to be 3-1. The 2-goal lead is restored for the national team here. And 3-1, 40 minutes gone by. Mironov, Samarov, he cuts in, and now it'll be halftime. 3-1 up here for the Uzbekistani national team here. 45 minutes away from being the champions of the world. Fiore, Juric, trying to start off the second half here strong, but Borussia Dortmund, and Garnacho does exactly that. Berra, cross comes in, Mironov, volley, hat-trick through 4-2. Yankoto, Juric, Fiore, saved, rebound, in, 4-3. Borussia Dortmund doing everything in the power to stay in this. Kurdov into Popov, into Sokolov, into Samarov. Can't find him. That was nearly perfectly moved. Juric, 4-4. We're choking it away. Juric, don't tell me we're about to bottle it in the last moments of the game as well. Saved. You got to keep that in play. Krupin, get there. He does. Referee, that's in play. Kurdov is coming for Ivanov. Samarov turns, spins off his defender, and Samarov could be in behind here. Could be a last-minute winner for the Uzbekistani national team. The cross comes in. It's Mironov. It's UFA. It's the Uzbekistani national team with the win. The last kick of the game, and of course the 99 overall scores it. 5-4 for UFA. And that is the Champions League, a.k.a. World Cup, completed, mate. After 12 very long seasons of building up some of the best players of a nation making the World Cup for their first time in the history of their life, of their existence. They win it on the second try, if you really want to count it as that. But with only 6 players originally in the game, only one of them making the cut, he'll be the one to lift the trophy. Mr. Khrushchev out of Manchester City. Everybody else has either retired or not really been up to standard. So it's been a sea of youth-generated players by myself. Literal hours, close to 10 hours in totality, this rebuild has took. And to pay it off after 12 seasons, we are your Champions League World Cup winners. And Kusanov, the Manchester City player, the only real-life player in the game now, will go ahead and lift that trophy for the Uzbekistani national team. 5-4 on totality, 99 overall. Mironov scoring the winner with the last kick of the game. Let's do a proper roundup because I want to show y'all something interesting. Mironov ended up scoring 45 goals. Samarov 22. Berta with 15 goals. That is absolutely absurd. If we go over here to like my career, over the 12 seasons, we've won 3 league titles: League 2, League 1, and the Premier League. We didn't win the championship. We got promoted through the playoffs there. We won one Continental Cup, which was the Champions League just now. Over 600 matches played, over 296 wins, nearly 1,000 goals, 9 short of 1,000 goals, 782 goals against. I don't know if that's goals against or assist and all. It's not assist, it's goals against. That's dumb. Our biggest win was 5-1 against Burton in 2028. Our biggest loss was 5-1 against Bristol City in 2029. Our biggest record transfer fee was 108 million. I think that was finding the left back, I believe. We've only earned 7 million sterling, 7 million English pound. So there is that. That's the end of this rebuild. Please leave a like and subscribe and share because my God, this took forever. It's my longest rebuild I've ever done. I will see y'all next time on Wednesday for another rebuild. Until then, peace out.